You're watching Force 13 Live. This is Force 13 Live. My name's Nathan Foy. You can see me now. Hello everyone, and we're joined by Skype friends this evening, and who we'll be talking about, of course, Hurricane Joaquin and everything else that's going on around the world. But first of all, the team. Hi guys.
Hello.
Hello. Marcel and friends. Lee, Jason, Jesper, Jean and Craig, all here right now. We're going to be talking about, of course, Hurricane Joaquin. That's the main focus of today, but we will also be talking about other systems that are active around the world too, including Tropical Depression 22, which is really a tropical storm about to hit the Philippines, and of course a little system near Italy as well. But of course Joaquin will be our main focus. So you saw the satellite imagery coming into the start of the show. A very strong storm. The breaking news is that Joaquin is now a Category 4 storm on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale just off the coast of the Bahamas. It's 20 miles north of Crooked Island, around 30 miles east of, I think it's Long Island, and around, well, earlier today it made a very close approach to what was it? Saminar, is it called? Or Sanamar?
Yeah.
Saminar or Sanamar Key.
I seen on the in the news that that make that Joaquin made a loop near this island.
Yeah, it was very close indeed. Only
Made
around
the
2
loop.
miles away, I think, from making landfall on that island. It is uninhabited though, but of course these other islands, Crooked Island in particular, the storm is closest to right now, is a populated island, though probably not terribly much.
Yeah, guys. Joaquin is a very dangerous storm and a very powerful storm, and it's gonna be a very dangerous Category 4,
It certainly
and
is.
a possibility to it's going to be a Category 5.
Well, let's
It's
not
a
speculate too
possibility.
much about that one.
Possible, I think it's just moving slow.
There's a recent satellite link showing what the storm looked like not so long ago. Coming up to now, you can see how close it is to those islands.
That's my head going.
Crooked Island is the one just south of the eye there, around 20 miles distance. Dry air to the north of the storm, though probably too far away to have a significant effect. It's certainly been so far. Where Joaquin goes next is anyone's guess almost. It's certainly defied the forecast so far. It's gotten a lot closer to the Bahamas than what was first predicted, and it could yet make a landfall. Even if it doesn't, you can see the main parts of the storm there affecting those islands. So even if it doesn't make landfall, it could still be catastrophe, at least somewhere along that island chain.
There's a wee glitch here.
Speak up a bit, Lee.
I'm saying I think there's a wee glitch here. You know, it said
Glitch?
that, yeah, because it said Jackman's now a tropical storm.
What?
And I'm going, what? This is a glitch on when an underground. It said it's a,
I
you know
see.
it, isn't it? You know it, isn't it?
Well, rest assured, Joaquin is a Category 4 storm.
Yes, it
There it
is.
is, with
Just a small glitch, I
130
think.
mile per hour winds and a pressure of 936 millibars. This happened just, this update came in just as we're coming on air, actually, about 2 minutes
That might
before
be
we
why there's a glitch then.
possibly about 2 minutes before we started that update went up. So there it is. Of course, hurricane warnings in effect for the whole of the island chain of the Bahamas. No other locations yet as far as I know, unless something's happened in the latest update. I'll just have a quick look at the graphics, but I think it's just the Bahamas under hurricane warnings right now. serious situation. Of course, Category 4 winds could be affecting those islands right now. Yeah, no changes to the hurricane situation. Hurricane watch in effect for Bimini and Andros Island, and tropical storm warning apparently was in effect for a few islands of the southeastern Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands, as well as Andros Island.
Pressure's 936.
As the National Hurricane Centre says, Joaquin becomes an extremely dangerous Category 4 hurricane. The central Bahamas to experience hurricane-force winds, storm surge, and heavy rain through tonight. Lee.
It's okay, it's 936 now in Bahamas.
Yeah, I said that.
Oh, I did, yeah, that knows. Excellent.
But there we are. Any questions or comments for us, by the way, please let us know, and we'll reply pretty quickly, hopefully. Of course, on the YouTube page, Facebook and Twitter also, you can send a message straight away, straight through to Force13, all in text, Force13. You can also join the conversation on Skype, add myself, Fool13, FOOL13, to get involved in the discussion. Guys, I'll open the floor to you. Any comments?
I think that Joaquin is a very dangerous storm. Yeah, it's a very dangerous storm. Yeah, it could banish the Bahamas.
Yeah.
It could banish.
Hi guys. The best storm of the Atlantic season.
Welcome.
Yes, Nathan?
Yes, welcome, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
What do you think about the latest news about Joaquin now becoming a
As a
Category
4
4 hurricane?
Well, it's sort of not surprising, or sort of big surprise, really. Just, you know, how close it is to land. Due to its recent troubles that it's caused for the Bahamas, I really would not like to see a Category 4 landfall. That would be...
Well, that very nearly happened already, and it could still yet happen, unfortunately.
Which, that's the sad thing everyone's, you know, sadly going to have to deal with if it does happen.
I mean, it's bad enough already. The eye wall is affecting some of those islands. I just want to try and familiarise myself with what islands those are and whether I'm right in saying what those islands are. I'm just going to have a look. I know the one just south of the storm is Crooked Island. I'm not entirely sure about the one on the left.
It is a rather shame that it's managed to, not managed, but unfortunately been slammed by a Category 3 hurricane.
Yeah, the one on the left is the one that I thought it was. Long Island, that's the one on the left. I suppose the name sort of defines the island now.
Yeah.
It's long. And the storm is just 30 miles east of Long Island. It's around 30 miles southeast of Rum Key as well, and about 40 miles southeast of San Salvador Island right now. So the storm is in close proximity to all of those locations. Next on the list, Great Exuma, Cat Island, those areas under serious threat as well overnight tonight. And beyond that to Eleuthera Island, probably not so much of a threat, but still could receive tropical storm conditions or indeed hurricane conditions. The whole of the Bahamas, apart from the westernmost islands, Andros and Bimini, under hurricane warnings.
Well, it's sad to say that it is actually a rather grave situation now.
Well, potentially, though. Let's not forget that the Bahamas went through Hurricane Andrew with very little human loss in terms of fatalities. I think only 2 people died during that, if not less. So they have experienced big storms, and they've gone through them. Of course, Floyd affected this sort of area as well. Irene in 2011. What other storms did? I'm not sure whether Hugo affected those islands or whether it stayed out to sea. Can't remember now. But they've had their fair share of big storms.
Yeah.
The biggest problem, I suppose, with this latest one, Joaquin, is the fact that it's moving very slowly and is stalling over the areas.
Near enough stalling.
But more of a rain threat as well as the wind there.
Yeah.
And that eye is certainly beginning to come out more. Guys, what do you think this storm could peak at? I don't really want to scare people too much, but obviously we have to prepare for the worst case scenario. And do you think Category 5 is out of the question?
Well, maybe not. I
don't think so. I think it'll.
It's...
I think there's a. Sorry, you go, Craig.
I'll let you finish, Lee.
I think it's got one more push. I think a 5's possible. Kind of borderline 4/5.
Right.
Kind of borderline.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd have to sadly say it, but I would not rule a Cat 5 out for this hurricane.
It's just
I would
so
not
slow.
Because
I expect that Joaquin will pick us from us, or very, very strong Category 4, or a Category 5. Well,
If it does get Cat 5, it'll defeat a record on it, so.
We'll check out the models very soon and see what they say. I don't think any models say it. So for the HWRF, one of their recent models saying 156 miles per hour, which is just one short of Category 5.
I think they might round that up to a Cat 5. Well, probably not Cat 5, but it's going to be a very nail-biting storm to watch if it does become a Cat 5. It will be a record breaker. It will be one for the history books because it went and broke a 8-year-long run without a Cat 5 in the Atlantic.
Well, it's due, isn't it?
Yeah. But then, if it does become Cat 5, is this a sign for the future? Is this a sign for things to worry about in the Atlantic?
Well, considering it's been 8 years since the last one,
yeah.
Sure, yeah.
I think that Joaquin will be from 150 miles per hour to 165.
Oh, good lord.
Well, I'd only put it at 160 peak. If it does Cat 5, I am not putting it any higher.
Right. Well, let me just find out what the latest NHC forecast is. Is this an intermediate advisory? Yes, so they won't have changed their forecast philosophy. I think they're still going to be saying a peak of 140 miles an hour until the next update when they'll reevaluate and see what's going on.
Had a plane in it earlier.
Yes, yes.
Tonight as well.
That, by the way, is the forecast track. The NHC predicting that the storm will move towards the north and then possibly affect the US. Now you can see here that I think the models are beginning to trend away from a mid-Atlantic US landfall now. And I think the reason being is because there's the possibility of a low-pressure system off the coast of Florida, Georgia and South Carolina in the next few days. The GFS I saw certainly picked up on that and pushes Joaquin further towards the east towards an eventual landfall or very close shave with Nova Scotia as a very significant hurricane there. So the whole of the East Coast still has to watch out. I'd say Florida is probably in the clear despite being closest to the storm. Obviously you need to remain vigilant just in case. Same with Georgia. South Carolina, certainly watch out. North Carolina, absolutely. All points north of North Carolina, absolutely watch out for what Joaquin does.
Because this is definitely a storm do not take your eyes off of. Because this is a storm that could easily change direction at basically any second.
Well,
because it's
already really stronger than Sandy.
Whoa!
Yes, it's beaten Sandy definitely.
That's some serious development that's undergoing. This is some serious development. Yeah. This is some serious development.
Craig, do you want to screen share?
I will screen share this.
That's a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah, give everybody a sense of what I am seeing. This is some pretty
storm, isn't it?
This is a very, very serious development that's undergoing. now finally beginning to open up, which is possibly the best for the storm, but
Yeah,
not the best for other
that's
islands.
been a rather notable development in those last few frames, and I think that'll be even more telling in the next few frames.
Yeah. And even the more intense thunderstorms wrapping around the eye could signify that it could be stronger than what it is. Could be.
Not entirely sure on that just yet, but
Yes.
we'll see.
That's
Yeah.
why I
It
would
would
say
rapidly
could be.
intensify.
Yes, I don't even. To be honest, this is probably why we're not going to rule out a Category 5 for Joaquin, because its rate of intensification that
Yeah.
from from its track that I saw, that it jumped from Cat 1 to a Cat 3.
If you remember yesterday, Nathan didn't
Yeah.
think it would get to a 4.
Pardon?
It has.
I will commend you of a fact. All the storms on the Atlantic that intensified rapidly going down to Category 5.
Okay.
Well, it's all these factors that that go into the storm. Obviously, Joaquin, as we saw on last night's update, it's the conditions around it. They were hostile. I mean, you just may want to ask it: how the heck did it manage to form?
That's a good question.
Oh, well,
Good question.
we know. Very warm waters, wind shear that was decreasing the whole time, even though it was predicted not to do that.
Exactly.
Dry air gradually decreasing even now. Even
Which
though
is
it
a
was
little
high
bit
near the
worrying.
start, the storm battled dry air rather well. And it surprised a lot of people, almost everyone probably.
This is, as I read in the Wikipedia page, this storm has literally surprised the National Hurricane Center, because literally their models were predicting the wind shear to come and decimate the depression.
Right.
That was to later become Joaquin.
Lord Crunk says, folks from the Bahamas have posted videos in the past hour. Trees are bending. That's
The
certainly
trees
to
were
be
waving like
expected.
mad then. Yeah.
Well, there's also a small hurricane watch, but I'd possibly give that to a tropical storm warning or
Okay.
tropical storm watch.
I did
Okay.
also
Yeah.
hear that there'll be hurricane crews also on the east coast of America as well.
But there's no warnings for the United States yet.
No.
Yeah.
Not hurricane related, but I think there
No,
are
not yet.
different
No.
warnings in effect. Let me just recap.
Like special marine warnings, or possibly that
Let
sort
me
of
show
area.
people on my screen what's going on in the United States right now. This is the National Weather Service's website. I'm sure many of you are familiar with it. You can see along the east coast of Florida there. I'm not sure whether that's a rip current statement or a beach hazard statement along the coast of Florida, because they look so similar. It's one of the two. Certainly rip current's going to be some sort of problem. Coastal flood advisories further north along the coast of Florida beyond Daytona Beach, including the coast around Jacksonville and into Georgia. Coastal flood advisories there. And then there's nothing along the coast of, well, there's lots of flood watches and warnings actually in the Carolinas, into Virginia, onto the Delmarva Peninsula and Maryland, into southern New Jersey and Long Island. There are also some warnings there as well. I think those, yes, are also coastal flood advisories along the coast of New Jersey there. So America is certainly preparing, even though there are no hurricane warnings in effect.
Yeah.
Red areas along the screen there are where the hurricane warnings are.
To be honest, it's a good thing for the Americans to prepare for this, because
It's always good to be prepared early, isn't it?
hurricane could change. Yeah, be prepared rather than not be prepared at all, or get prepared at the last minute when it could be too late.
And if you're in America anywhere right now, please drop us a line and let us know what's going on in your neck of the woods.
I know
We do have some
Justin's on the
Americans
East
on our
Coast.
team, they're just not here at the moment.
I think Justin's in New York, isn't he?
He's in Western New York, though. He won't see much,
You-
I don't think.
He'll not see much.
Yeah, Craig,
Is that-
tell us about this as well.
Oh yes, right. How can we say it? The baby storm, the brand new one. Tropical Storm 22W, which I can't remember how long ago did that pop up. Must have popped up at least.
It's got the Philippine name, I think it's Kabayan.
Quite recently, anyway.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
Tropical Depression, according to the GMA, Tropical Depression Kabayan. As you can see, it's supposed to peak as a Category 1 typhoon. Now, if you can't see the yellow dot, it's over land. Now,
Happens.
It's a weird one, isn't it?
it can happen, as we saw. Well, let's go back to Katrina and use her as Katrina an example. She intensified while she was hitting Florida as a Category 1 hurricane.
Hurricane Irene
And Hurricane Irene as well.
became a hurricane over Puerto Rico, didn't it?
I think it did. I can't remember.
I must
think
point
it
out
did.
as well, obviously we are a World Service, so the warnings are in effect for the Philippines as well. There are warnings, Signal 2 warnings, in effect for large parts of Luzon, Aurora, Northern Quezon, including Polito Island, Quirino, Nueva Vizcaya, Bengue, La Union, Pangasinan, Tarlac, and Nueva Ecija. Sorry for butchering the pronunciations. Signal 1 warnings for the whole wider area around Luzon as well, including Metro Manila. So there are also storm warnings in effect for the Philippines right now as a result of Tropical Depression Kabayan. But the main thing that we're tracking this evening, or
It's
this
the
afternoon,
hurricane.
wherever you
Major
are,
hurricane. Jack.
is Category 4 Joaquin.
What other storms that what can we discuss? Oh yes, 99W.
Yeah, I think that's going to blow up to a big typhoon as well.
To be honest, I certainly think it is. It's, as you can see, it's definitely become more and more organised.
I wouldn't be like a depressing from that in the coming days.
Well, I think this is a latest image. I think no, yes, it's another latest image. More thunderstorms have actually began to pop up as well. This is a very serious hurricane. Please,
Right.
I don't know really how.
Well, making observations myself here.
Yeah.
The storm, in actual direction, it seems to be moving west at the moment, slowly edging closer to Long Island. So those on Long Island, I mean, you look at the satellite imagery there right now. The black area is right over the island. So the worst of the storm is possibly happening there. If not, it's happening either on Ragged Island or on the small island to its north. That whole area, though, is being slammed by
battered.
very strong winds and heavy rainfall as well. Certainly hurricane conditions occurring in all of those areas. Definitely.
99W. I'd hardly think that this is more, you know. But anyway, the 99W, it began to reband itself after, having a little bit of trouble with wind shear. It's. What would you?
Like in that area?
Well, let me just get that up. Actually, forever. Well, the wind shear is what I saw was rather hostile
For
whom?
That's
For
got no chance,
99W.
Right.
if it's got all that on.
But I'd say it's been decreasing quite a bit. It's been decreasing. But we'll start off with the North Atlantic.
Yeah, please show us.
See, decreasing wind shear, so the hurricane will probably try and
Well,
move west, as you said. Hurricane graveyard now beginning to reappear, which is possibly a sigh of relief.
Well, the fact that Joaquin is expected to move north is very unnerving when you look at that wind shear map. A very low amounts of wind shear to the north. In fact, it's still over around 15 knots of wind shear, and that's decreasing gradually as it
Dramatically.
has been the whole
Not
time.
dramatically, but
So the indications here show that the only way is up for Joaquin.
yep,
There's
no,
also
west,
a
north, cross.
to L as well.
Now, I think this is where its location is anyway, down here.
Yeah.
Where the decrease in wind shear is, the conditions are becoming very, very unfavourable. They are gradually getting favourable, as you can see, decreasing by 5 knots to the outer edge of it,
I
and
don't think
decreasing
that
to
really
10 knots
that
towards
would
the centre.
really lead to
But I
much.
don't think that will really matter. No, I don't think it will. East Pacific, let's have a look here. Well, what can you say? Basically, hurricane graveyard.
Oh, it's there. Oh,
Yep.
not
No, basically,
not really.
a oh, graveyard near enough towards Hawaii, but
Yeah,
down here it's, I'll give it
there's
really
an
favourable.
invest. There's an invest somewhere around
I
there,
know there's an invasion somewhere.
and that could
I
develop
think it's
into a
in
hurricane.
this
Some of the
area.
models said that yesterday. I've not been looking at those recently, admittedly, but we'll get on to the
Ain't the
models in a
4D not
moment.
looking good?
Yeah, 94E, that was the one. Let's
Yeah.
see the Westpac, Craig.
West Pacific. Here it comes. Load. Should be up now. There's Tropical Storm Kabayan, as we would call it, but Tropical Depression Kabayan and to the JMA.
It's just mad, isn't it, that?
It is on a increasing area of wind shear, but I don't really think that will affect it.
It's about to
Nice.
enter a wind shear, a storm paradise here
Oh yes,
on the other side of the
90.
Philippines. Wind shear absolutely through the floor.
That's really high.
Oh god, yes. But I think I can't really locate where 99W is. I think it's down here, or it could be up here somewhere. I think it might still be down here, but if it is unfavourable, but I don't think it is down there anymore. I think it's somewhere around here.
We'll
Where-
show models on those shortly as well.
Yeah. South Indian, so I may as well have a look at all of them.
I think that one's died in this 90s.
Well, yeah, 98's dissipated. Favourable conditions beginning to pop up here, so we could start seeing some
Yeah,
North Indian development.
I'm sure it will in the coming months.
Because obviously it's been like the Atlantic season, it's been quiet.
Yeah.
But this one's been the most quiet basin so far. No
wow.
point looking at East Atlantic. Western Australia might as well. Not really a storm paradise, but it's dropping, so this is definitely a sign that the cyclone season
Well,
for the southern
Craig,
hemisphere
I
comes back.
want to bring your attention to the computer models now, because the computer models
Yeah, you
are
can do.
flip-flapping about, and they've done so again here for Joaquin. Take a look at this.
Having a look now, because what the heck are they saying? If they are predicting doom, I
No.
will literally jump at
No,
my bedroom.
actually, the GFS
Good.
taking it out to sea, HWRF taking it out to sea and then back in towards Nova Scotia landfall perhaps, and the GFDL takes it out and then in once more to a landfall in Virginia or perhaps North Carolina there. Very strange tracks, and as you can see, the big difference in what those forecasts are saying there tells us how little confidence there is in the forecast on Joaquin right now.
Oh yes.
So the threat to the southeast United States is slowly fading. Can't be too confident.
We
But-
can't really just point out saying, oh, it's not going to
Further
landfall. But,
North
no.
Carolina and northward should certainly still be concerned about this storm, absolutely. And Atlantic Canada also. I want to take a look at the HWRF wind sway there. This is just one model, predicting it to reach 155 miles per hour over the Bahamas, which is
That is high.
borderline
Oh
category
my
5. The
god.
fact that it's stalling in that area at that intensity is a recipe for disaster for those islands, particularly around Long Island there.
Come on, Bahamas, you're
That
going to
is
survive
just one
this.
scenario. That might not happen. Joaquin might weaken immediately. Who
I
knows?
hope that does not happen.
But what's more interesting is that the storm remains a Category 3 almost as far as Bermuda there as well. And then moves towards the north and just about loses Category 1 intensity by the time it arrives in Nova Scotia. That's just what one model says, so don't take that one with it too seriously. Take it with a pinch of salt, and don't forget these models change every 6 hours. The last one said this.
Oh god. I
which
die
was
near enough a beeline.
a Category 2 landfall in North Carolina. The one before said this, a Category 3 landfall in North Carolina. So the fact that it's changed since then perhaps tells us that the change really is on the cards. You can see
But
a lot of the previous models, that's like 6, 7 in a row that said North Carolina before this latest one. It might be an anomaly. It might flip back on the next run in a few hours' time, but that's just what one of the scenarios are. We'll take a look at some more scenarios later on. In fact, I think Jean is doing the very thing right now, if that's his screen.
Yeah.
Someone's
It
screen.
is. It is.
It's a bit cluttered.
It is rather.
Well, there's even one model taking it to Florida there.
God, that.
I don't think there is a model consensus. A lot of them taking it east now. A lot of them still going west to North Carolina or further north. Hi, Jean, by the way. Forgot to introduce you. And yeah, it's very intriguing and obviously concerning for the whole of the east coast of the US, because it's still not over yet, and Joaquin could just be beginning. Obviously, the Bahamas experiencing these conditions right now. Category 4 conditions, quite possibly, in some areas. It is a Category 4 storm with winds of 130 miles an hour, a pressure of 936 millibars, very low indeed. Could be strengthening further. There's the
Whoa!
the intensity guidance.
Most of them basically edging towards Cat 5.
Not most of them, just two.
Yeah. Oh, two of them.
Two outliers there, taking it to Cat 5. There are a few others that take it towards the high end of Cat 4, but most of the models staying low, and though I think that only initialized when it was a 125 mile an hour Cat 3, so maybe you can add a 5 onto that too. So I think most of the models, the model consensus there for the intensity at least, is that the storm will remain a Category 4 for about, oh, I don't know, 2 days.
To be honest, I find this very worrying, to be honest.
Yeah, 2 days, maybe a bit more.
I find this very worrying. Because if there's two models predicting a Cat 5...
Well, 2 out of many.
Yeah, it's better than... Well, not better, they're basically wanting doom, those two models.
Well,
we are not.
For the Bahamas, yeah.
Which I hope does not happen, because this would be possibly even a humanitarian aid that could be needed if this thing does get to 155.
I want to take a look at some of the other models now as well for the other storms. We'll come back to Joaquin very soon. What you're looking at right now is the track forecast for 90L. What's the chances on that one now? This is the one that was Ida and then was absorbed and now could become Kate. What are the chances on that from the NHC, Craig?
Let me just check that one.
Yeah, please do.
Hang on, I'll just get this stat up. I think it's like 70%. It's 60. Right, here we go. It's 60% in the next 48 hours and a 80% chance in the next 5 days. So basically, near enough a certainty in the next 5 days.
Okay. What we're also looking at here are the models there. The HWRF has it rather stalling for a while. The GFS takes it pretty much towards the north. The GFDL takes it far towards the northwest near Bermuda. As far as intensity is concerned, not very strong, predicting a 64 mile an hour tropical storm, at least the HWRF is. You can see the other models there predicting not very much from that. 94E, this one's located in the eastern Pacific. There's the track forecast. I think the HWRF is actually predicting it to move towards Mexico, though they don't predict it to become anything. They predict it to actually peak at 27 knots, which is only 31 miles an hour, so not very impressive. This is the Invest 99W first of all, and the HWRF is predicting a Category 3 from that. I know a lot of other models are predicting a significant typhoon out of that one as well. Still a way to go, and it's around 167 degrees east. I clicked that one already. Oops, gone back in time. 22W. Tropical Storm 22W. Predicted to make landfall in the Philippines very shortly, probably won't intensify much, but then predicted to become a Category 2 just before making landfall in China north of Hainan with winds of 107 miles per hour. That's just one scenario, but the JTWC sort of agree with a lesser scenario with a category 1 with winds of 75 miles an hour on there. I think that's all. Back to Joaquin.
Well, Jason just said said in the chat for us to mention a certain storm in the Mediterranean, Medicane 01M.
I don't suppose Jason could tell us about this in the medium of screen sharing, perhaps, if he can.
Or I could get a loop up if he wanted, or just get a still image.
It'd be quite nice if we could see what that storm looked like right now. There is a Mediterranean storm. It's located just off the coast of Italy, off one of the islands. Is it Sardinia? Or is that the other one?
I think it is
Sardinia.
Sardinia.
Of course, because the French one, isn't it?
Here it is.
And it's a
This
rather
is what's
interesting
left of it.
feature. Do you think it was a tropical storm, Craig?
Well, it looked a very disorganized tropical storm until it organized.
Yeah.
So, category tropical storm. Maybe to put it as a
Craig, you're
Hurricane
really
storm.
struggling there with your connection.
Oh dearie me!
Yeah, I'm afraid.
Straight from my connection.
Yes.
Well, I'll say it again. Before the storm organized, I'd say before it organized, I'd say this thing was about 40 miles per hour to 45, maybe even 50. I would put it as a Hurricane
50 miles an hour?
storm.
Right. Remarkable.
Well,
I know Jason
maybe
was very
50 is a bit high.
Jason was very excited about that earlier on today.
So, well, the Medicane
It
form.
was, wasn't it?
Sense of excitement
Hmm.
when a Medicane form rare. No, because apparently Medicanes form in dry summers. So,
Oh, did they?
apparently they do. Apparently. I'm not really sure how they end up doing that, but somehow Medicanes end up forming in dry summers.
Okay. That's
But-
something I didn't know, if that's true.
Hmm.
Marcel, are you getting impatient there?
I'm getting impatient for the next advisory
The
on
next
Joaquin.
advisory. Well,
Oh, join the club.
we've only just had one, so it's going to be another 2 hours until the next one.
I don't think there's any need to look at Marty because he's dissipated.
Well, that old
There's no
farty's
more.
still going.
He's
There's
gone.
no party. There is no party for Marty. In fact, he
No,
already
no.
had it.
No party on the Bahamas either, where we have
No. Oh
Hurricane
God, no.
Joaquin with winds of 130 miles an hour, edging closer to the Bahamas. By my reckoning, it's now around 17 miles north of Crooked Island, around 26 miles east of Long Island at this time.
In fact, let's get the latest satellite imagery of 22W up. I think that may be a good idea to get up. I've got it here.
Any questions for us, by the way, watching the show? You can go right ahead and ask away. If you're concerned about the storm, if you're living in a particular part of the United States or indeed the Northern Bahamas, we can let you know what the current situation is on the storm right now. Of course, if you're living in the West Pacific, we can also talk about the current storm over there as well.
This is the latest satellite imagery of it. Tropical storm Kabayan, or tropical depression Kabayan. To be honest, I'm just gonna stop saying that. It's too much. Who stole my screen share? John,
Looks like it was
strike.
John. Oh dear.
Stop stealing my screen share.
Oh dear. Behave.
I think
Guys.
yes. John, stop it.
One at a time.
22W. I'm just gonna say that because seeing as how it's not named yet on the NOAA floater imagery.
Get on with it.
It's looks like it's saying what you said there, Nathan, heading towards Manila. Definite
I didn't say
landfall
much
already.
about Manila. I just said it was a signal 1 warning for Metro Manila.
Well, It's definitely heading towards Manila. I can't really pinpoint where the centre's heading. I
Do you
think the
not know
centre's...
where Manila is?
No, the centre of the storm I was on about.
Well, it's not heading towards Manila.
Nah, I don't think it is.
It's passing to the north by about
Uh,
50 miles, if not more.
no, I'll need to rescale that there
But
as
quite a
well.
way.
Yeah, I'll need to
But of course,
rescale it.
heavy rainfall it fell all over the area, all over the island of Luzon by the looks of it there.
It is. It's
I think it's going to be
considering
regular.
this. Yeah, considering this, the JMA. I can't. No, was it the JMA? No, it was the JTWC. They were predicting Kabayan to weaken down to a depression before rapidly intensifying
Good lord.
by going 40 knots, 50 knots, 55, and then 75 miles per hour.
Remarkable.
And on a landfall.
Yeah.
It's
Krista Baldanaza says, hello there.
hi.
Hi. Thanks for joining us. Thanks everyone for joining us, people who are watching right now.
In fact, I'll get the JTWC up. That might
And
help.
it would be, if you think anyone you know would benefit from watching the show, please signpost them in this direction. That would be very much appreciated indeed. We're providing the service, of course, even if only one person if only one person is helped by our service, then that's a success to me.
Yep, here we go. This tropical storm Kabayan. Right, you know, I'm just going to stick at that. Is still forecasted by the JTWC to weaken down to a tropical depression, then strengthening and really getting going, and then rapidly dropping off a cliff, obviously, before making whilst making landfall, making possibly what was 2 typhoon landfalls, possibly a third there.
Who knows? Who knows?
But this is obviously, this can still change. The forecast track could still change.
Get on.
To be honest, I could still see it making a landfall.
Yeah.
Obviously, making a landfall as soon as it crosses into the South China Sea, or it could just, dissipate. But it's still too soon to tell, really.
All right then. Marcel, go ahead.
What?
Yeah.
I am going to build the models. We are going
I just
to
want to
drop.
show this. This is the island of Sardinia in Italy. You can see in a moment you can see there. That's the storm that affected Italy there. In those last few frames, you can certainly make out a circulation in those last few frames affecting that island. I don't know what the conditions are there. Possibly flooding. I've certainly seen 1 or 2 articles that are showing flooding, I think, in that area around Cagliari. That's on the west coast, I believe, isn't it? The capital of that island being affected by that storm as it moved inland. Rather interesting.
Oh my god. Medicane. No, I know the Medicane.
Yeah, Medicane. Chris,
The second
tells us
Medicane.
that they're from the Philippines. It's been raining for almost 3 hours. Where in the Philippines? It would be interesting to know, because perhaps we could advise you on what to expect. I'd certainly expect, if you're in the area around the storm, that those conditions will continue for at least another 3 hours.
I'm just going to point out on Jean's screen share the rainbow loop of the 2 storms, mainly edging towards 99W. That is a massive system.
It sure is. Look at that.
That, I think, can be a absolute monster if that does become anything, which it's supposed to do.
I don't think it will, though. It might become a monster, but maybe not an absolute monster.
No, I'm not predicting doom. I'm not saying it's going to become a Cat 5. It could become a Cat 5, but I'm possibly not going to say it will be.
I think doom in the Atlantic is enough for anyone.
Oh God, yes. That takes the biscuit. That. I mean, obviously, current situation in the Atlantic obviously is Hurricane Joaquin. cleaning the floor with Major Hurricane Danny, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Cleaning the floor with him. A new update imaging, more intense thunderstorms popping up. Oh, but on the western side of the storm, western side of the eye wall. Well, what can you say really? That there's, if you could do anything to help out at this time, what could you do really?
Obviously, the people of the Bahamas, they've had a certain amount of time to prepare for this. Obviously, it's quite difficult to prepare for a Category 4, but it's not looking good for those on Crooked Island. I expect the worst is currently occurring right now there. I expect that the worst is about to occur on Long Island. I expect the worst is about to occur on Rum Cay. And I expect that the worst will occur in around 12 hours, no, around 6 hours on San Salvador Island, the one that sticks out to the northeast there. Away from that, Great Exuma, the island on the west of Long Island, is currently starting to experience some rainfall and could see the worst of the storm, or their worst of the storm, in around 6 hours. As you work your way further north, I've forgotten the name of that island, Cat Island, they could experience the worst of the storm's conditions in 12 hours, depending where on the island they are. Might be a little bit less. Obviously depends on where the storm goes. It's a tricky one to forecast because of its slow movement right now. So it could speed off to the north at any time. It could stall for 3 days.
It could do. It looks like a possible change towards Cuba here. You can see it's starting to head south.
I wouldn't say it's moving south. I think it's still moving
south.
West.
Yeah.
I'd say west.
Well, you can see if you mainly try and follow where the path of the eye is going. It looks like it's a sudden, a gradual course.
I think it's just a jog
more
there
or
to
less
the
south, but I'd still say yes.
heading.
I'm still gonna say I agree with you, Nathan, that it's
Right.
heading west. But still, it could still just and that's do this. It's drunk. It can't do a straight line. But still, there's no time for jokes and fun and games with this hurricane.
Krista would like to know the cause of Tropical Depression Kabayan.
The cause? Well,
it's been around for a few days. The precursor to this storm, it was along the
this storm
east
actually
coast of
was
the central Philippines. It was just off the shore, and it just gradually developed. And lo
Mm-hmm.
and behold, it's become a tropical storm. It was looking rather good yesterday, to be fair, even though it wasn't officially a depression by anyone. So it's not necessarily come out of the blue. It had been developing for a while, and I think, to be honest, the weather services were a little bit late in actually calling this a depression.
Yeah. This storm was actually, I think it did actually come from 98W. This invest was what was left of 98W, I think. I think it was just a redeveloped one, but who knows? But if it certainly was 98W, this is the redeveloped version, 98W Mark II, that formed to give birth to Tropical Storm Kabayan or Tropical Depression Kabayan. It's an interesting storm to watch that, but it's also one to keep our eyes on as well.
All right. Well, I'll leave it open for anyone else on the team to say anything at this point, whilst I do a little bit of typing here.
Yes. Well, what could you say? Of course, Tropical Storm Risk still needs to update itself from. It's not no longer Category 3 now, as we all know. It's a Category 4 hurricane with winds of 130 miles per hour. I wonder if there's been no advisory in yet for Tropical Storm 22. 90L. Now, what did you say about this earlier, Lee? I think you said that this thing had winds with miles per hour, 90L.
Yes, I did 35 miles an hour, yeah.
Well, I can certainly see why you'd think that, but it's
Well,
as
it
we've
said
seen
it
with.
here. Craig.
Oh, right. Well, but on RAM, obviously, as you can see on my screen. Oh, as you could see before someone stole it, John.
Night tail moving northeast at 5 as well.
Well, according to the National Hurricane Center's, little description of it, well, what it's supposed to do, that it's supposed to move erratically northwestwards and then northward. So it's supposed to pick up some welly before, well, actually pick up a hell of a lot of base before doing so. It's, what would you rather say about it? It's looking
Yeah.
it's slowly getting more organised. See some sort of, well, looks like some sort of circulation up towards the Azores. Yeah, well, yeah, it's that area.
Develop and something.
Well, did the model say anything for a development of this of
Which one?
98?
If it does,
90L.
I'll set up a weak system.
Yeah, a lot of them predicting a weak tropical storm here, yeah.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if it did become a weak tropical storm, or even just a depression, because Ida depressed a lot of this. We don't want another Ida, but obviously it will not be known as Ida, it will be known as Kate, if it does become a tropical storm, that is, or even if it develops.
Yeah.
This is the question, will it develop? But you can see from this good scaled image of the Atlantic, obviously you can see there's Joaquin and the Bahamas. You can see this thing, this is an absolute beast of a hurricane. It's well organised, you can definitely see that. Not perfectly well. Would you say perfectly circular?
No.
No, I
Krista
wouldn't
would
say
like
it's
to know
perfectly
the
circular.
exact location of Tropical Depression Kabayan right now.
Kabayan, let me just get the West Pacific up.
Yeah,
I'll
if you-
quickly get that up for.
Get the floater up, Craig.
Get the floater.
I'll do
I
it.
was having-
I'll get the floater.
No, I'll do it.
I'm
no.
closest.
I'll get that.
I'm closest.
No, you're not.
I'm
No,
already
you're
there.
not. No, you're not.
Oh, yes, I am.
No,
Here
you're
it is.
not.
It's loaded.
No, you're not.
There's the
I
latest
think,
image.
they
Oh, God.
beat you.
Damn it!
And I
Oh,
thought it was
shoot.
animated.
Let that shoot up there.
Oh, there it is. There's the
Nathan.
animated one. Yes.
I beat him to it.
No, I've done it. Marcel,
No, you didn't.
did you have something
I
to say?
think that Joaquin, it can be a large storm. A very large storm.
It's a large storm, yes. Yes, and it has
Yes,
Well, large
it is.
storm. You don't
Even larger,
really
indeed.
say it's a
Large.
beast of a hurricane. I'll give you that. It's a beast.
Yep, it's
Ah,
beast.
certainly
This
is.
is.
It's the beast of the Atlantic. As a lot of us were saying, well, me and Lee were saying that the Atlantic could cough out a monster, and I think this is the monster that's just
Oh,
come
it
out.
already is. It already is.
Oh, it's a monster. It's not a very, well, not very. Why did I even bother saying that? That is absolutely foolish of me. It is rather foolish. Why I said that, I don't even know why.
Guess this image is 22W.
Yes, 22W. The Versailles, you obviously can tell by the Versailles and Luzon. Looks like a bit of Mindanao, but I don't think that.
Well,
I
you
think
can
it
see
is.
it there. It's about to make landfall if it hasn't already. It's on the cusp of
I
landfall
has.
in, it looks like Aurora province there. Yeah, central Aurora
Yeah.
by the looks of it. Just north of Polillo Island.
Let me just get.
Expected to move towards the west-northwest, and will probably end up moving back over water in only a few hours, I'd say. About maybe 6 hours maximum. It'll be back over the South China Sea, and it'll be on its way towards China. The Philippine threat will probably persist for around 12 hours from the time of broadcast.
Well, this is near enough what what would have been Typhoon Linfa. This is near enough a Linfa scenario, if you think about it.
Do you think?
I'd certainly think about it. I'd certainly think that it's a near Linfa scenario. that it's supposed to become a typhoon, but it was just to become a tropical storm after making landfall in Luzon.
Yeah.
It surprised us all when it did form the eye wall and became a What's a typhoon?
A typhoon.
What's a typhoon?
3 typhoons?
Yes. Except we don't have two other typhoons, which were named Nanka and Chanhom. We didn't have any of those. We don't have any of those two with us. Thank God. But still, I can still see this one becoming a typhoon. But obviously, as I said, forecast tracks they can change at any time, and it's too early to say that it. Oh yes, it will become a typhoon. It's too early to say. Obviously.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Oh dear.
There is Hurricane Joaquin right now, edging closer towards Long Island in the Bahamas, not Long Island near New York. That would be something. No, though the threat to Long Island and the whole general region is rather high still. I believe New Jersey have actually declared a state of emergency already.
Whoa.
They have, yes.
Yeah, do you know anything about this, Lee?
Well, I just see it they've put a state of emergency up.
That's a strange one, that.
But I have seen that, yes.
Well, I think the situation is because New Jersey's. I mean, of course they remember Sandy, not so long ago, same time of year.
They've been extra cautious, basically.
Yeah, perhaps. It still might miss New Jersey completely. I think that's more than 50% chance, but obviously any chance of this storm making landfall in any location should be taken seriously, and that includes Florida, certainly in the north.
Oh yes.
Even though the chances of that are rather low at this time.
Yes. I wouldn't go there.
I quite like to put a warning out if they feel.
They are quite right to do so because you're better off.
They feel that they should prepare, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
it's always better to be prepared than being sorry.
better off being safe than sorry, really.
Yeah, that's it.
Excellent.
You know. Why? No. Go ahead, Nathan.
I wasn't going to say anything in particular, to be honest.
Darn it.
Jean, how are you today? We've not really managed to speak to you. He's like, he doesn't speak. What's going on?
I can see him as well.
He's joining us from Mauritius. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of him over in the southern hemisphere in their summer, which is coming up in the next few months. He'll be tracking storms. He'll be tracking storms approaching his location, of course. I'm sure we'll see him around.
I can see him on YouTube.
Yes, indeed.
I can see him.
So, let me just remind everyone what the current situation is right now. Hurricane Joaquin is now a Category 4 hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. That means it has winds of 130 miles per hour sustained. 130 miles per hour sustained. Gusting winds is going to be higher than that, possibly approaching Category 5. And of course those conditions are potentially being experienced on the Bahamas right now. Certainly heavy rainfall. Reports of trees being bent by the storm already. That's certainly no surprise to me. There could be a lot of damage on those islands, in particular the islands that the storm is closest to. It's around 20 miles north of Crooked Island, if not less. It's around 25 miles east of Long Island. It's around 30 miles southwest of Rum Cay, and it's around 45 miles south of San Salvador Island, I think it is, and around 50 miles east of Great Exuma, perhaps. Craig, have you seen sea surface temperatures yet?
Oh, Craig.
Where's he gone?
Craig's
run off.
He did this earlier, because I was on him earlier, so...
Did he really?
Yeah, he does it sometimes. He'll come back.
Okay, let me just try and find sea surface temperatures right now. Oh, it's not loading. We had this problem last night when I was live. I swear there's a conspiracy against me. The sea surface temperatures won't load when I'm live. What I can tell you is that the sea surface temperatures are around 30 degrees over the storm right now. 30 degrees Celsius, 86 Fahrenheit. Certainly warm enough for sustained development. 26-degree waters extend all the way to North Carolina. That's what I can tell you.
Oh, yes, that's correct.
It must hate you.
There is a conspiracy against me. Why can't I see it when
it
I'm
must
live?
hate you.
Go ahead.
But anyway, I've got it up so that you could.
Oh, it's even worse. 28-degree waters extend as far as North Carolina.
Yeah. East Pacific, relatively warm waters, obviously. Very. And that as well. That's what it's caused by. Very favourable for a storm to find itself in the East Pacific and even the Atlantic. Well, wind shear is obviously the problem, and also some dry air as well. That'll be the problem. But the East Pacific, it's what looks could be a storm haven. I haven't really seen if there's any dry air. There probably will be.
Storm haven for where?
For the East Pacific, but I haven't checked if there's any dry.
I'll take a look at the water vapour in just a moment. I'll show that on the screen shortly.
South Indian and North Indian. You can obviously tell that the cyclone season is not far away at all. The sea surface temperatures down there are starting to heat up.
North Indian Ocean as well, that warms up around this time.
Yep, and we could even start seeing some activity up in the North Indian, even Arabian Sea after.
Indian Ocean usually very quiet, except when it's not quiet, it's usually a big storm, isn't it?
Normally, yeah.
I mean, we've had ones recently, Neelofar, Hood, Phelan in 2013, of course, Cat 5. Many other examples.
Oh, yes.
Storms there, but when they do, they're usually intense. South Indian Ocean usually gets a variation, doesn't it?
Yeah, it normally does. It can get the odd Cat 1, Cat 3.
Cat 5.
Cat 5. As we found out this year, it got 2.
Yeah,
we had bands. Eunice. Still a debate over whether Eunice peaked with winds of 160 miles per hour or 165. Still thinking it was 165 due to its size. But if they're saying 160, I'm not going to really argue. But hey ho.
Go ahead. Look at the West Pac.
West Pacific. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Anyway.
Go on.
No, you start.
Fine, I'll go then. The South China Sea is rather warm right now, 30-degree plus generally. So certainly a very good environment. And we saw the wind shear maps earlier on the show. Near nil in the South China Sea. So I've forgotten its name again.
Kabayan.
Is likely to intensify rather significantly as it moves over the South China Sea with very favourable conditions there. Further east, where that other invest is, the huge one, Craig, water temperatures very warm there as well. I think they're just about peaking, and then they're going to start to decline slowly in the Northern Hemisphere now, aren't they?
Yes, and then we're going to be ready for the whole thing all over again, really. But obviously, we could see some very significant typhoons before that happens. But the way it's going, I don't really think so. But I don't want to really say that, and then it ends up happening.
Okay.
Because it could probably actually. Anyway.
Excellent. What should we do now?
Yeah,
I showed the the East Pacific water vapor map.
Oh yes.
I can tell you what's on it, and I can tell you that there's lots of dry air to the southwest of the Baja California Peninsula. Moist environment around Invest 94E. Further west than that, in between 94E and the Central Pacific, where we have two areas of interest, by the way, both at 10%. There is a dry air slot there too. Dry air over Hawaii, there's high shear there anyway. And a little bit of dry air in the Gulf of Mexico as well for Gulf interest there. Have you seen any storms in the Gulf so far? Bill, Bill was one, wasn't it?
Tropical Storm Bill was the only one.
That's the only one. That might be a record low. Well, maybe not. 19.
Oh, I've just found Marty's central rotational core.
Right.
Was popular. But anyway, you can see. I think that where is the? Oh, there's the Invis right there.
That's not Marty, I don't think.
No, Marty there.
What?
Or is it not?
No, I don't think that's
No,
Marty.
it's not. I'm
Marty's further
confused
east.
now.
Marty's further east. There's hardly anything of him.
Down there. I think he was down here the last time. Yeah.
Hmm.
But anyway, one of these systems is Tropical Storm Nyala, however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
It could redevelop. I think it's this system here that might redevelop, or it's completely dispersed.
Whose phone's going?
It's because the football's starting.
Lee, what is this?
It's just sofa score, it's just what it does when the football starts.
Yes, but we can't have football
Oh my.
alerts or mobile chimes.
No,
No.
this is a storm update. Come on.
Oh god.
I mean, come on. I think that's a new image, a new floater image. Yes, that certainly is a new image on the floater imagery for Joaquin right now. The western eye wall not looking as impressive, but the eye is, in my opinion. I think this is a very important time for the storm now, as it could do anything from this point forth. It could weaken, it could strengthen. Obviously NHC are predicting strengthening. The next update from the National Hurricane Centre is in just less than 2 hours, which we'll be providing another update for. Our live event will be ending in 20 minutes time. But the latest image suggests that the storm is around 20 miles northwest of Ragged Island in the Bahamas, and around 22 miles, maybe a little bit more, east of Long Island, and as I said, around 30 miles southwest of Rum Cay and around 45 miles south of San Salvador. Is that the sound of who's in the background?
I'm a laughing storm.
There's lots of people here.
Yeah.
I'll let them talk.
Well, the advanced Dvorak technique here's reading the 6.1
And a pressure of
on the advanced
940 there.
Dvorak. Yeah,
Reading
and
slower
a wind
than
speed of 117.4 knots.
that correlates to 132 miles an hour.
It's definitely still intensifying. The other ones, well, that's
Yeah, I think that's gone up 4 knots from the last update on that.
well, this one's gone up. This
ADT.
last time I knew, this was still saying Cat 2.
No, it said 112 earlier on.
Well, this one on here was saying 96 point something
Right.
knots.
Well, there it is. You can see the storm's track there as well, where it's expected to go, curve towards the northwest and then the north. But right now, I have to say, Joaquin is still moving west.
You can see it right there. It's definitely it's a monster. Really. This is a very big hurricane. See,
Sure is.
I think this might be its tail. Well, some of bits of its tail anyway.
Bits of its tail.
Bits of it. Its tail's broken. Needs to stitch back on. But hey, well,
Fantastic.
that's the least of our worries anyway.
It sure is.
Dwarf are well, as we already described there.
I
Anyway.
mean, Joaquin's instrument. Joaquin's
Instrument.
Joaquin's influence.
Hey,
Thank you.
stop time looking.
Influence is extending as far as Cuba, extending further than Cuba actually, with that big band south of Cuba. I think that's what you just mentioned, wasn't it?
Yep.
And the spiral bands associated with Joaquin extending as far as the northernmost Bahamas, almost as far as Bimini, and in turn almost as far as Florida, but not quite.
No. This one's the water vapor will bring out
Oh,
any
let's have a
hidden
look at that.
secrets. The water vapor will bring out any hidden secrets that this hurricane has and that you actually can't see on this image. You can't
It's
see
still
bits of
pretty
it.
dry to the north though, isn't it?
It is still pretty dry, but as I saw in the NOAA floaters, on the dry air, on the water vapor image anyway, you can see the dry air starting to moist, which I think was predicted that the dry air was supposed to do. It's a little bit concerning. 30-degree heat pocket. Now, if it hits that, well, normally what happens with any storm is that it explodes. you know, I wouldn't really see that happening, but it could
Well,
happen.
it has, hasn't it?
Well, it's in the 30-degree heat pocket, but I put that down to
I
29.
really don't think those islands are going to interfere too much with this storm.
Oh
No, I
God,
don't
no.
think so.
I think these
And
islands are
surely
just
the shallow
safe.
areas around the Bahamas mean warmer waters than what are shown as well, don't you think, perhaps?
Possibly 30. Well, 35. That's a bit extreme.
No, not 35. What's all that noise in the background?
John, is that you?
This
Yeah,
noise.
it must be.
Just put the football outs off today, so.
Thanks, Lee. That's
Really.
very, very
You
helpful.
can see how significant this image in the TPW.
Yeah.
You can see how significant the rotation is. You can see the inflow
Sure is.
stretching from obviously the north. You see it coming down and joining up with the hurricane,
Yeah,
and there's obviously an inflow coming off from
Um,
from the east. Who's
Okay,
that? Who's doing the breathing?
no, I'm just going to check to see if there's any new model runs in right now.
Should be.
No, there aren't. They're a bit late today. I don't know what's going on
Okay.
there, but as soon as we have any more model news, we'll let you know. Most of the models now, I think, are trending away from landfall, at least in the southeast of the US, but still a threat for the mid-Atlantic
Okay, imagery.
at this time.
I'll get night clothes imagery and cue the picture.
No, we're not doing that picture.
Damn it. Oh, I don't think it's updated. If it has, it's outrageous.
But the eye of the storm is still very, very close to Ragged
Oh,
Island.
yes,
So
it
it's less than 20 miles actually now, barely 10. At
You
least
can
the
see when it
HDR.
intensifies there.
Oh, hold on, let me see that.
See when it intensifies, you can just let it load completely. It does lag a little bit. But
Yeah.
for 10 knots, you can see how this is the main area, how big the circulation is, and then you can see it grows,
Yeah,
and the speed of it increases dramatically. This shows rapid intensification, if you'd like to say it. I do hate to say the word.
It did rapidly intensify. For
But you
some
can see
time.
it. You can see it there. It hit it.
I mean,
It had a
goodness,
very nice.
Joaquin was barely a Category 1 not so long ago, and it's a 4.
And now
Yeah,
look at it.
rapidly go up.
It just said the RI word.
Absolutely.
It just said rapid intensification. It's.
Don't be afraid to say that. If
Oh
that's
no, I
what's
will
happened,
not be. I mean, you can see. You can see the wind speed up here, which is obviously measured in knots. You can see here. Watch it. Watch the speed that this thing goes up at.
It goes
Look at
up very
that.
quickly.
It shows you how warm these water temperatures are and how much that helped Joaquin become the storm it is. It's definitely the far better looking storm, obviously, in the world right now. Obviously. It's, I wouldn't say, weathering, but it's looking a damn sight better than it is. But obviously a little bit cool. Stop laughing, John.
I don't know what's going on now.
Don't laugh.
Yeah, indeed. Well, at this point, I need to show something else. Where has it gone? Yes, it's gone here. I just want to point out everything that's going on around the world right now. So, of course, we have Joaquin. This is on Force 13's dedicated tracker. There it is, showing Joaquin as a Category 4 storm, likely to continue towards the north and gradually weaken as it heads towards the east coast. A very strong and destructive storm indeed. If you want to visit this website, by the way, it is the Force 13 tracking map. It's force-13.com/tracker. Force-13 the number.com is the website. There's Marty still going as well somehow, 30 miles an hour. Invest 94E well to the west. Invest 99W in the West Pacific, and there's Tropical Storm 22 likely to make landfall in the Philippines very soon, if it hasn't done already, and then move on to China. It appears that 90S has gone. Craig.
National Hurricane Center stopped issuing advisories hours ago.
Well, it
They
still
stopped hours
says
ago.
TD on the Force 13 map.
What?
I don't know what's going on.
Outrageous.
I
It's
don't
probably-
run the map.
I think
It's
it
all
has
right.
gone, but
No, it's
has
probably,
gone.
it's probably something to do with the ATCF there, which is still playing up and showing a TD. But what's left of Marty is still there.
The remnants anyway.
But it certainly won't last, and you know.
It's not going to become anything really. It's not going to redevelop. You can see, obviously, later satellite imagery, more thunderstorms popping up. This eye is definitely becoming more and more defined at every frame.
Possibly.
It's
not
is
the
this
best
stuff?
Category 4 eye I've ever seen.
No, we've all seen better.
Yeah.
This is obviously it will be the best Cat 4 hurricane in the Atlantic season this year. But will there be another Cat 4? Maybe not, but there could be. I'm not going to say there won't be. This might not be the first and last. Oh God. But as you said, Nathan, this might be the October peak happening right now.
Well, on that note, I think we're going to end the show, guys.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there's anything else you would like to say at this point.
Stay safe.
Yeah, of course, stay safe out there.
Oh, yes.
I just want to point out what other updates we're doing tonight. We're going to be doing an update on Tropical Storm 22 very soon. Philippine name Kabayan, I think it was. I keep forgetting it. I'm sorry, I'm not good with Philippine names.
You're doing well. You're
Yeah.
taking guesses.
So a video update will be following on that very soon. That's a recorded update that we often do. We're doing a recorded update on Joaquin. That's going to be in 2 hours to coincide with their next update from the National Hurricane Center.
Yeah.
And we're also going to be going live once more later on tonight at 11 PM UTC. That will be at 7 PM Eastern Time in the United States. We're going to be live again talking about Joaquin and whatever else is going on around the world. So until then, we'll obviously be doing updates on our Facebook page, search Force13, all in text, same for Twitter, and you can also obviously subscribe on our YouTube page if you haven't done so already, or indeed you can add me on Skype at Fool13, FOOL13, to get in touch. Guys, anything you want to say before we finish?
Well, I don't know if there's
Just
stay safe. Yeah.
Things that we already know. Common sense, really.
Common sense, really. As you said, common sense, definitely.
Don't take any unnecessary risks.
No, all I'd like to say is basically good luck to the Bahamas in the future, what happens. Hope everyone, people on the Bahamas are alright, okay.
4 islands in particular we're concerned about: Ragged Island, Long Island, Rum Cay and San Salvador. We'll keep you up to date on what goes on with Joaquin very soon. Guys, it's been a pleasure once more. Thanks for joining us. And thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you again soon. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
And there's no toodles.
No toodles.